And then the slide on the hill as well. But this is what fits within the budget. We wanted to have the water feature. That was kind of the number one. So that kind of puts us a little bit over the top. And then we have the boulders, so that's a little bit less of an expense. This one right here.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that one at the last. Was that replacing the crisscross logs? That climbing feature.
Yep. So there would be 4 sections, and that would be another one. They've got the logs, the swings, so that would be two more sections that would have, and then the slide on the hill.
Okay.
But with the water feature being the priority,
Yeah.
this is what we can squeeze in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So we're looking at approving just a design, not a budget of any sort, right?
That's correct. Yep. And so, yeah, budgets really haven't had a chance to bring the board into discussions on budgets at this point. It's been a council. It's always a council.
Yeah.
They ultimately set the budget and set those goals. But I'm thinking about, as we go into CIP next year, that we would talk a little bit more about some of our projects so that we can prioritize them with the board, looking at our master plan.
I think
We've got that
that's a
in
good
place.
idea.
Yeah.
Because I think we need to
You don't have to
kind of
worry
make their
about-
job a little easier.
You don't have to worry about budgets, but these are the requests that we put out.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Can we go back to the climbing feature?
Yep. Let me go down. There we go.
I guess it just seems a bit bare to me, and I know we're working with like a lower budget, but because are those wood chips then?
That is correct.
Okay.
What's the concern again?
It just looks a bit bare. You know, there's not a whole lot happening. Just the
Yep. Well, it's the nature play piece of it. It's not as it's not the same as the playground
Sure,
features that we
yeah.
see, because
yeah.
they have to bring in special rocks. You know, we were hoping to use a couple of the rocks that we have. I think one of these is one of the rocks that we have, but the other one is not, because it had too many sharp edges. But what I'm hoping is that it bids a little bit lower. We're going to try to do some of the work ourselves. Like, we could put in the wood chips. Our staff can do that. That saves money on the project. And it's also lumped in with the irrigation. So if as a whole it comes in lower, we're going to go ahead and go right into that third feature and that fourth feature as well. And we'll get those done right away. This is what they expect it to bid at, but this is a $325,000 budget, and that's high for a playground. That's what we spent on Skyview. But when you're talking about nature play, it's
Right.
these are real logs that we have to that they have to find. It's not like you can just order a plastic one. You know, so it makes it a little bit more unique when it comes to the budget.
No, I love it. I loved all the designs that we looked at last month too. I think I was just noticing like, oh, there's still some space there, and maybe there's space to add something later. I was just at Kimmel Orchard has a nature playground, and they said that the most popular feature is the like just logs on the ground, where people kind of like the kids just walk from log to log and kind of hop around, and maybe at some point something else could be added to fill in.
And I'll give you some perspective here on the size or the scale. So feature 1 would be right here, and then feature 2 would be right here. Feature 3 is going to be in this area, and then feature 4 would be down here, and then the slide would be along the hillside. And
That would be like the future feature, like the future stages.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. And we're going to have to really tackle that this summer, trying to tackle getting some funding for the other two features. But I'm also hoping that the whole project bids out a little lower, that we can squeeze in at least another one and maybe both of them. The slide is fairly expensive as well because it's a concrete formed slide that goes down the hill. So that runs the prices up. You're looking at about $150,000 each feature, or roughly 125. If you count all the trail that goes to it too, it's getting that 150 range.
With these features in here, so the amphitheater, whatever that's gonna look like, is still going on the east end of this, right?
Yep, the amphitheater's going right here. And
Oh,
it's
there.
overlooking this way. Not the, you mean, you
I
thought
thought
it
it
was
was
over
over
here?
there, yeah.
No, that got moved quite a while ago,
Okay,
early on in the design, because we wanted to get the amphitheater away from the houses and out in the open. But this
They-
allows more space too
yeah.
for people to
That's
actually.
what I was
yeah.
concerned about, that there wasn't gonna be much space, so that's good.
Plenty of space, a nature playground for the kids nearby. There'll be ADA seating right here for the amphitheater. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else? All right, look for a motion, a second for consideration of recommendation of the final design of the nature playground at Johnson's Park.
I move to approve the design.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All not in favor, same sign. All right, move down to other business. Item number 7, supervisor reports.
All right, this will be, Ryan, if you want to do yours first.
Okay, we just continue to start up and repair the sprinkler system.
That's not right.
Testing. We continue to start up the repairs on the sprinkler systems. That's ongoing. Every year it's the same thing. We're digging up broken sprinkler lines and stuff right now. We installed the new bench at Warren Cook Park. All we have left to do there is a little bit of dirt work now where we tore the grass up, driving the dump trucks in and out. Started maintenance of the splash pad. That's all going now. Still working on Central Park projects. Water's going in next week. The water department's gonna hook up the water for the sprinkler systems. The guy for the sprinkler system's ready to start any time on half of the park. So we should be getting that up and running in the next couple weeks, I would think. On the west side, we're working on first. I picked the stone for the stage this week. They're gonna get that ordered. That should be here in a couple weeks. They can start on the stage. The contractor is gonna start on the path going up to the stage sometime about the end of July. We gotta do a little bit of work first. We gotta tear out some old pathways and probably brick up the storage underneath. I don't know if anybody knows it, but there's a storage room underneath. I've never seen it. But probably a lot of treasures in there, I'm guessing. I don't know. And then I think they got the lights for the tennis courts are finished, I believe. I didn't know if they got that completely finished. I think they directed them the other day. And then working on flower beds quite a bit. Finished installing all of our shades. Continue to work on the playground at Johnson's Park. We're about probably 70% done on that. Hoping to have that done. Hoping that they get the install done next week and I can get the chips ordered, and hoping to have that done here in the next 2 weeks completely, with our part of it anyway. We've been doing some pest control training for mosquitoes. Hopefully that all goes well. I'm not sure where we're at on that yet. Promoted for an arborist position and then hired a maintenance 1 worker to take his place. Then just everything else we do, setting up for Christian Cross and music in the park. That's tonight, I think, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. And then tomorrow we're gonna close down the playground for a day up there and put new wood chips in as far as 1 load will go. So we'll see how far that goes. But that's what we got going on. And then just maintenance on everything. I mean, the water park and all that stuff, just normal stuff. But that's what I got.
Who got the arborist position, or can you say?
Bryce Eisenminger. He was one of my maintenance workers.
Okay.
So when you install new benches, We had family back, and we were at the playgrounds a lot, checking them all out and having fun with little ones. But there's no shade for parents, and that was the.
Is this Warren Cook?
We were over here at the library.
Yep.
We were at the splash pad was the worst because there was one group that had the shade, and then you're just out there in the heat, and there's just nothing. And then we noticed the big swing is gone at that playground.
The cable frayed on it.
Okay.
I have one ordered. It's ordered. I can't say for sure when it's going to be here, but yeah, we had somebody called and said there was a piece of. I didn't realize it was cable, to be honest. That's a steel cable inside of a basically a yarn sheath, and I don't know why it frayed where it did,
We
but
just thought anytime we think about new benches, we should think about where they are in the shade.
well, when we
Because
put them
it
at
was-
Warren Cook, that was decided outside of our.
Okay.
That was the donor, which is the Library Foundation, donated those benches and chose the locations on that,
But
so.
we will have. I believe we're putting more trees up there too for.
Yeah, that'll be a fully shaded park.
But
There's a
it'll,
lot of trees in there.
obviously it takes 10 years to get shade
Yeah.
from a tree, but yeah.
Regarding the pest control, like, is that just at the parks? Is that something you do across the city to help with
Yeah, that will be.
mosquitoes?
We're doing mosquito training now.
Okay,
So hopefully by the time the mosquitoes start hatching, which is late July, August, I think is when they say the peak season is for them.
Would be responsible throughout the city.
Hopefully we're all, 3 of us went and took the training, so we haven't found out if we passed yet, but we'll find that out next week. But I think we'll be fine, so. At least one of us should have passed. I mean, odds are, so.
Okay, we done with parks. We'll go to athletics.
Okay, some of the current projects project outcomes, we removed one of the sand volleyball courts. Plan to put something else in that area at one point. We moved the fence to the Tahoe playground to help with the cage construction, start over there. We just, like Ryan said, the lights were finished at Central Tennis Courts, so we got those tennis courts up and ready for play. There's a lot of people that were interested in getting out there and playing at that court. Some of our current projects is we're working on ordering the other equipment for the second backstop that we're wanting to complete at Tahoe in the fall. We're updating a lot of things in our concessions to help with our inspections that are happening to make sure that's quality and done. We have our full-time staff scheduled to meet in Mitchell to check out their ice rink and some of the maintenance they do over there, as we will get our ice rink at Johnson. So we need to make sure we know everything that entails, so that is scheduled. So some of the current projects for athletics.
Did anyone see the new signs out there by chance, or? Go ahead.
Just to touch on them going to Mitchell for the ice, that's, they're gonna go learn and see how it's done, how it's put on by layers, and, that way when ours is ready to go and then for them to do it, they'll already have that training to be able to do it. With recreation, it's going really well. Our summer camps are busy and going. As I said before, we're trying to utilize the Elkhorn Lodge, to have that, shade and space for the kids, not currently having a indoor space for rec. We do take them to the pool and enjoy the pool time as well on Fridays is what we're trying to do. Swimming lessons are up and going for group swimming lessons at Aquaventure. We're going to be offering a patriotic day, July 5th, which is a summer camp available to be registered for as well. We did order, it's like a bounce pad, and it has the City of Norfolk logo. So I can't wait to show it to everybody because it's really a cool thing and it looks really good. So I'm very excited to be having those things to continue to grow recreation and make more activities. I did get my life jacket stations are are up. I did get my shipment of life jackets in, so I'm excited to show you all what they look like. So I did bring one with me, and it does have our park's logo on it. It says property of City of Norfolk on it, and then this right here. So these ones came from a donation from Prime Stop and Motoplex. So their logos are going to be added
Okay.
to this as well, and thanking them for the donation. So, and so far so good with the river. We're very excited. I'm excited to be offer programming on there as well once the construction's done at the park, and I'm excited for the ice to come and offer things for theater and work with some local partners doing those things. We are bringing a 5K fun run and working with the downtown folks for that event, to partnering with them to bring that to Oktoberfest and have it the morning of before the parade. So I'm very excited for that as well. We did get our race timing system in, so that I'm going to be working on trying to bring the Laugh and a Half Marathon back. They stopped doing that, and I was offered the supplies to take it over and move it on. So it has great opportunity to bring in a lot of people to our town and see the wonderful things we have. And I think once the trails are done and utilizing the trails that we have along the river as you're running. I personally am a runner. I love going out to Taha. I love the trail. I love running alongside the water, and I think a lot of other people will really enjoy that as well. So I'm very excited to be offering those things, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you.
I'm excited for the Laugh and a Half to come back too. I've heard comments about that. People have missed that, and I think some of the feedback was some people didn't like that it was basically you did the loop twice. So maybe in thinking of the new route, figuring out a way just to have one, so you're not repeating it. I think
Never, it's live and learn. It's one of those things, if you've been in a fun run before, you don't like to double back and pass people, or then you have too much traffic on an 8-foot pathway, or, it becomes tight, and then you could cheat. I mean, if you wanted to as well, if you did that. So not saying anybody did, but it is a possibility. And doubling back and crossing over is just a live and learn thing. And being a runner, I know running straight out, and then like you were just talking about shade, not having any shade. So if you're way out on the Cowboy Trail, it's dead heat. And if you're trying to do that in the heat of summer, winds up not being a pleasant run instead of more enjoyable. So I am excited to be working on that. And those are things that we hope to offer, and hopefully they'll just continue to grow. So recreation, I feel, is growing and going at a good pace, and I'm very excited for the ice rink. I'm excited for kids to have birthday parties and just offer things there as well. And hopefully we'll get some donations for fun things for the ice too. So we'll just keep plugging away at those things and keep growing.
Have all the helmets and life jackets been returned?
Yes,
Or
some I have staff checking, or I'll check myself, and we move them from one life jacket station to the other, so we got to move them back to where they started, and most people will wind up just dropping them off at the Johnson's Park life jacket station. But we are checking, and if you get out at Bluff, I'm hoping to purchase some kind of a bin or something where they can drop them in a bin instead of just dropping them and then they get dropped in the water. Or but so far, everybody's been very respectful and thankful that we have them. So I'm glad these other ones came in and we can offer those other sizes, because I know the ones we currently have are either really small or really large. So now we got more adult small to extra large is the shipment that just came in. So I'm glad that those finally came, and I'm excited to put them out there as well. And like I said, I'm excited for the river it'll get busier, and as we finish up construction and word gets out. So it'll be exciting. I've done it a few times. Don't know if you guys have. My kids loved it. I loved it, and it was a great experience. It didn't feel like you were in Norfolk at all when you were doing it. So I do highly recommend you try it if you haven't. Sorry, Nate.
Any other questions? Department department report here. Liberty Bell design work, we are working through that. The board did approve the concept, of where we would lay it out a while back. We are doing the flat work design for that to go bid it out probably in July here. So hopefully that'll be a fall project ready to roll and get that completed and behind us, and have that open. The other one, we just finished up our 24-25 budget requests, and council will be reviewing that July 1st. So that's coming up as well. The Norfolk, the Whitewater Park opening, like PJ said, it went very well. I've been on it many times, and mainly to see what flaws we might have in the system, and I've talked with a few of them with Terry, some others, mainly the structure 7, just not being able to get to the takeout in time because it carries you on. But overall, the park's really safe, and I think people are going to really enjoy it. I don't see really many issues, just some education on the type of kayaks. I do if you don't want to get wet or sink, you might want to try an inflatable. Those work very well. You'll get wet with a sit on top, and you might sink in a sit in if you do not have a skirt. So I do try to let people know that as often as possible, just from watching people and what's going on. But overall, everyone's having a good time. The river calibration, something we are working on a little bit. It seems to have been getting a little low. When it gets low, you start scraping the bottom of your tail fins on your kayaks and your surfboards and that. So I did bump it up a little bit today to try to stay above the low mark. We do not want it to get below low, so we'll see what that does tonight for that, but that should keep us up above. And we are just adjusting as we get used to the system and watching the rains. And rains aren't affecting it very much. It just, while it's raining, it goes up and then it drops right back down. So the Skyview fishing dock will be delivered tomorrow. That Skyview, and HMI Landscaping will be doing the install for that, and that'll start right away.
Will we have a small, I won't say celebration, but maybe a picture opportunity
For that,
for the dock? Yeah.
yes, absolutely. We'll do a grand opening, and yep. I don't know how long it will take. I'm assuming a few weeks. I got to work with Ryan about getting someone to do the ADA sidewalk access to that point, so we can start talking, looking around and getting that lined up here. Trying to see what else we have. So in the team lockers, just that construction is underway, and they'll just continue through till fall. So and I got a couple grants we got to start working on. The Recreation Trails Program grant and the Land Water Conservation Fund grant as well is coming up. So those are both due in September.
Is the swimming portion at Skyview opening this summer, or is that down the road?
That's something we need to work on. I need to work through all the safety angles first with Game and Parks and a few others, and try to get everybody on board and supporting it, so we don't have opposition when we go to council. Actually, I take that back. We wouldn't have to necessarily go to council on it because we can designate it as a swimming beach. So that would first come to the board, and then so that from there that would go to council afterwards. So if there would be a council discussion at some point,
Because there'd be some cost.
but there's not
involved.
an ordinance update for it anymore. So, and that would be designating a beach and swimming area, and a designated swimming area with buoys. It can go out where it's only 4 feet deep. You don't have to go out where you're in deep water or someone's gonna fall off an edge and drown or anything. But doesn't matter how deep water is. It's dangerous. But so we want to make sure we have all of our ducks in a row, and it's just going to take some time. So I've got a lot of,
Will something have to be done so it's more like a sandy bottom instead of a slimy bottom?
yep, we would have to bring in the sand.
Okay.
Yep.
Because that was supposed to be next to the fishing dock, right?
Yeah, next to the boat launch is
Or
a
the
good
boat
spot.
launch. Oh,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
It's a good spot for that. Because the water goes out pretty far. It's pretty gradual. And you also don't want to have fishing in that area either. So we got to be careful of that. So there's a lot of things that we got to do. So yes, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Do you have an,
Oh, go ahead.
do you have an estimated time when you think that you'll be able to take that swimming beach proposal to council? Do you have any idea how long it might take to work through all that?
What is the board thinking? What would you like to see?
I just was curious, like, are we talking?
Nice, I think. I mean, this summer, I mean, you just still think about accessibility, and not everybody can get to the pool or afford the pool or get to Mascantine or Willow. And so, yeah, I think it would be nice to have some sort of water.
Well, even if we got it all approved and done, there'd still be a little bit of a budget process for that. So if with that in mind, that's due probably, it's around January, February. It would be a budget request for the following year. So by then, we would want to nail that down and approve by all group parties, and then put that in a budget request to put the sand in and make that happen.
Do you have an estimate of cost? Have any idea?
Sand is cheap.
Yeah, it's not,
Buoys are cheap, right?
yeah,
Ish.
with all the signage and everything, I'm just gonna throw out a number of 20,000. But, I don't know if that's, how far off that would be. Depends on how much sand, I guess, we're bringing in and how much excavation would need to be done. You got any other thoughts on that, Ryan?
I think the biggest obstacle would probably just be the safety aspect again. But if we, have maybe life jackets available like we do at the riverfront and.
Yep, and the other, anytime you designate a swimming beach, it's required to do the water testing as well. And you have to do once a week water testings, because there's E. coli. They would shut it down, at least in my experience in South Dakota, they would shut it down we would shut it down immediately until it passed. So you'd retest, and that'll happen from time to time, because if you pick up some bird droppings in your samples, you're gonna fail. So, and you gotta go back out and retest, and that happens.
Yeah, I don't know if the algae issue is.
Blue-green algae.
No issues there, I don't think. Yeah, I wouldn't be concerned about that on this lake.
Animals would be a different story, right? If it was high enough, like for pets, if pets are out there.
I don't think there would be any concern. I don't think we have really algae problems on our lake.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying if there was, like.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's pumped in from a well, so it's not like it's
not like
flowing. It's not, there's
downstream,
not as much dirty water flowing in.
Yeah. So it actually would be a decent lake to swim in. It's not
Oh,
like
yeah,
Lake
yeah.
Mitchell at the moment.
We would be the one, that one would be bad. But this one would actually be a decent lake to swim in. Skyview would be a good one. I don't know why there's not swimming there. I don't. I know why. They did have an accident, and I don't know what what was happening around that, because when I'm talking about it's a designated swimming beach with the buoys, that you wouldn't have swimming outside of that area, so it wouldn't be the whole lake.
We swam everywhere.
Yeah, it'd just be a designated swimming area. There'd be no lifeguards on duty, but it would be signed for that as well.
What's the conversation then with Game and Parks that would need to happen?
I already threw it out there once, and their concerns were, why do you want to do that? So yeah, but they're looking at it from, well, then you have to test the water, then you have to do all this work, and I'm aware of that, but we would be willing to do that. They wouldn't have to do it, but It also interferes with fishing in a part of the lake. So,
Which I believe is probably their main concern.
yeah, yeah,
Beautiful fishing lake that
yes.
everybody loves.
And now you got kids swimming around in
Why
it,
would we
yeah,
let those, you know, the kids up there.
yeah. So you got conflicting recreation, which happens from time to time. But we know in the master plan that the community would like to see a swimming beach in our
Yeah.
community. Yeah.
All right, any other open topics or concerns that the board has?
I just had a question about, so if they miss the 7th, after the 7th drop on the river to exit, people can keep going though, correct? I mean, it's not
Yep.
dangerous after that point.
No.
They can keep going to Omaha Avenue, right?
The East Bluff.
Or East Bluff. And then isn't there a buoy or a rope off at
Well,
that
if
point?
you pass East Bluff, then you're gonna get to a buoy at some point.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But you have to be way out of, beyond where you're supposed to be, and you will have been warned many, many times by the time you get there, so.
Because, I mean, it ends once it gets into the river, essentially, right? Or dam thing.
Yeah,
You don't want to go that far. Yeah.
no, you don't wanna go into the culvert at the dam, at the
Right.
flood control,
But yeah.
cause that's a drop in the swirling water.
But if someone wants to do like as long as they can, there's appropriate signage saying,
Yep, East Bluff,
get out now.
last takeout, yep.
Okay, okay.
You make it to the buoy line, it's, there's not really a designated takeout there.
No, it is, the buoy line is there,
To save you.
Yeah, well, not safe, but to keep you from going over.
yeah, you're
Is
not
the
gonna.
current bad there or is it?
Now,
No, okay, okay.
It's pretty still.
It'll be, yeah, you can get out and you're only in 2 feet of water, so it's
Okay.
not like,
try to get out of it.
Yeah, but just getting up out of there would be.
yeah. I don't anticipate any issues,
Okay.
yeah.
I have one question. My granddaughter's a lifeguard and a couple of the other ones have mentioned, do you have budgeted for new squeegees?
The head guards just need to communicate that they are in need of squeegees, and so I believe Brenna just sent me an email on that. So Ryan does the maintenance over there, and he usually just goes to floor maintenance and grabs those, and then we have them. So that's correct. Yes, we do have it in the maintenance budget for squeegees. So I know they wear out pretty quick. The heads on those with that
Yeah.
sand floor,
That's what they
it
said.
gets pretty wore out. So Ryan now has heard my email, so he will put it on his list. So, but yes, we do.
I do have one more thing. I did not mention Johnson Park, kind of, we're wrapping up, everything's wrapping up kind of all at the same time. Ryan mentioned the playground in the next couple weeks. They're pouring the concrete for the shelters next week, as well as the ice rink, and as well as the fountain. So all of that's going to be wrapping up all at once. Down below, I believe next week they should be back out working on those sidewalks and wrapping that up. It's all going to come together, and then by mid-July it should be pretty well done. And July 16th, when the trash cans and benches are all going to be delivered, and we'll get those mounted. So we're probably looking at August for like some sort of grand opening event before we start working on the nature playground and the irrigation.
I had a couple things I wanted to, for just a comment on the whitewater and visitors that we've had. Just I've met a couple of visitors in the river, and one family had come from Columbus, parents and 2 kids, and they were having a blast. They loved it, and then I talked to another gentleman that had 2 kids that was from Council Bluffs, and he said, normally we go to Charles City. He said, but that's 3.5 hour drive from Council Bluffs, and this is 2 hour drive. We can do this in a day, and we'll be back up here. And he said, when I get home, I'm gonna put a list of what I spent. You know, going to Norfolk and how much I spent in Norfolk. And I did see that he had posted it on Facebook. And I think that's kind of eye-opening when you see, you know, somebody's coming up here, they're buying gas, they're, you know, they're feeding the family, and, you know, all the stuff that you're gonna do if they stay overnight, all that. So that's really cool. I hope more people do that, because seeing that payback is really important. There's a lot of people, as you said, there's a lot of people down on the river on those busy days. So that's cool. And saw people using the life jackets. That was really cool, especially kids that were walking around and then say, go get a life jacket, and they were able to. So that was really awesome. So, and then the other thing I had a citizen ask about, like if we could put a BMX bike track, like a bicycle bike track, somewhere. And I didn't quite understand what he was talking about. I mean, I sort of did. But then I was out in Colorado last weekend, and I saw pretty much what he was talking about. And it was pretty small. They just had a little excavator, and it was probably not even maybe 2/3 of this room, or maybe smaller. And it was just a small little bike track. And it seems like something that wouldn't cost very much if we have a place to do that. The person that was talking to me suggested out by the Cowboy Trail, but maybe there's a better place. I don't know.
We have that in the master plan for the Tahazuka project.
Oh, okay.
It's in that. So it's just a matter of, I've got a lot of things lined up for grants, but that's definitely a grant funded. But there is an off-road grant that I'm thinking about. I'm going after. I'd like to do something if they will let us use that and allow e-bikes or quieter electrical vehicles on it too. We could
This
do.
was just bicycles.
Yeah, you could do one, but you can do it with both, where you can have multiple areas to get the funding. You know, so I'm looking for where there's funding for that. But we do have that in the plan, so we just need to find the funding for that.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you
And
know where that would go, or?
it would be north of F&G.
So the baseball fields that are, the little kids play on for T-ball, I call it Taha East. So
Okay.
there's that blue playground. And then
Okay,
there's
next to that little
across the
stream.
street, there's
Oh,
the baseball
yeah,
fields.
okay.
Yeah.
So it would be just on the north of
Okay.
that, would be where.
Remember that, north of that house?
Yeah.
Yep. Also, I want to put in addition to that, a trail all the way from the campground coming all the way around to that spot. So even if it's just an off-road type trail where you could ride your bike and then you get into a bike park and do that as well. Easy grant funds, but we're just, I'm trying to find the right one right now, because we're tying up with bigger projects right now for baseball fields and stuff. But yeah, we will get that done. We'll find a
Okay.
way.
Good.
I'm looking right now. I'm looking at different options. So.
All right. Thank you.
One other thing I was going to add is I know people have asked about water quality on the river, and at the last LENRD meeting, we did discuss we are going to start testing a little bit upriver water quality, and then all the way up to Willow, which is what's feeding into the North Fork. And so hopefully we can share that information with you all. But because I don't think the city is doing their own, are they?
No, no. So Nebraska has the integrated water quality report that they put out. I believe that's an annual report, and that has the water quality throughout the state. And they do identify where they know there's water contact recreation. Water contact recreation would be any boating activities. It could be swimming. If you do swimming, though, you have to test. And how do you define swimming? You know, I think of it as without your life vest and you're not on a vessel. that would be considered swimming, where I think, when you're on a kayak, that's different. If you fall out, you're not swimming.
The
You're-
tubing, I guess, is kind of in between though.
Yeah, but you're still, it's still a flotation device that requires a life vest, and it's under boating regulations in the state. So they don't ban boating on any river in Nebraska
Okay.
that I'm aware of,
Yeah.
for any reason. And it's not bound by water quality. It'd be if it was swimming, like you were, this is a swimming area. But it is not, so it's all, so there's no testing required, I'd love to see the information if you have it.
Yeah,
But
we'll keep
it's also in
communicating.
it's in the Nebraska Water Quality Report as
Oh,
well.
perfect. Okay.
If anybody wants to read it, they can go read about it there. And if they want to stay informed on whether or not it's right for them or their family or whatever, that's where you would go.
Okay.
Yep.
Great.
Anybody else? All right, I'd look for a motion to adjourn tonight's meeting.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Looking for a motion to adjourn?
That's correct. I would like a motion for the board reports as well. I'd like to start doing that.
Okay, look for a motion to approve the supervisor reports. In a second.
I'll approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All not in favor, same sign. And look for a motion, a second, to adjourn tonight's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.